I was stunned that some of the backlash she got were from black elected male officials saying they didn't want to support a woman. And I hear these people talk about black men that are pulling away from your campaign, though I've not seen any real evidence of that.
Okay, can we just be honest? Al Sharpton is the original grifter. So if you don't know, back in the days in New York, anytime there was any kind of racial conflict, this fat ass would show up in a jumpsuit, and he would demagogue against Jews, by the way, specifically, and get people super mad to the point where they nearly attacked Jewish people. And he was a menace, an absolute menace in the New York area, okay? And then all that got magically forgiven. Why did it get forgiven when that stuff never gets forgiven?
Why did it get forgiven?
Because he decided to embrace professional corruption. He was running 2-bit scams back in the day because he didn't know any better, right? But he's a smart guy, so he wisened up and he's like, oh, the way the professionals do this is they kiss the ass of the donors, they kiss the ass of the politicians, and they get the real money, the big money. And did he shake down a lot of businesses saying, hey, if you don't give me money, I'm gonna call you racist? Okay, go ahead and catch feelings. Yes, he did, okay? And do you wanna know how Comcast was allowed to merge and actually acquire NBC and MSNBC? They had a massive race problem. Al Sharpton came in and said, no, they don't. They don't have any race problem. Guess where Al Sharpton wound up? Hired by Comcast at MSNBC. Funny how that works.
Office, he considered blanket pardons for a lot of folks. He didn't follow through, but we certainly expect when he walks in the door, he will issue a bunch of pardons, particularly the January 6th convicts. He made that promise on the campaign trail. That was going to happen regardless. But what do you think the impact of this would be if President Biden and his team follows through with this and offers these blanket pardons? How does that? We saw what happened when he pardoned Hunter Biden. How do you think that impacts the national political conversation? How is that going to be perceived?
I think it will be perceived mixed at best, and probably would get a lot of people concerned about what precedent we're setting. But let's not forget, Donald Trump not only talked about pardoning the January 6th people that were doing the insurrection, he called them hostages and had them singing as a choir at his rally. So in the background of that, I think that people will be kind of mixed in their reaction if Biden were to do this. From the civil rights community, we've been saying he ought to be pardoning people like Marilyn Mosby, who was the prosecutor in Baltimore, Jesse Jackson Jr., the congressman. Even I have a brother in Alabama who's doing civil work. Look at people, Reverend Kenny Glasgow. We're looking at people that need pardons, that have come out and done well, served the community. That ought to be the standard. And I think to forecast what people may face, I think is something that should be discussed. But I would hope he also looks at pardoning people that have maybe made a mistake, but turned around and done the right thing. That's what pardons are for. And I think we should not pervert that.
There's a little bit of controversy about that podcast because you did it. Do you know about this?
No, what?
Because in D.C., this interview happened in D.C.
Yeah.
In a hotel.
Yeah, not in a hotel. It was like a random house.
It was like a random house. But apparently, you can tell me, they spent, meaning the Harris campaign spent like $100,000.
I did see that.
You know about this?
It's hilarious.
To build the studio.
Yeah, that's not true.
Not true, to make it look like it was the studio that you used in L.A.
My studio that is gorgeous in Los Angeles doesn't even cost 6 figures. So I don't know how cardboard walls could cost 6 figures, but.
But do you think they did that? I mean, you saw it.
Absolutely not. With love to them. Oh my God, it was gorgeous, but like, it wasn't that nice. It wasn't like gorgeous marble. Like, no, that was not 6 figures.
And now that the Harris campaign lost, which I think was definitely their election to lose, given just how much Trump was like not even trying, and he didn't win by the popular vote he won by less than 50%. Harris dropped the ball. Lindy Lee was all in on the campaign. And now she's pivoting because she's like, you know what? I want to go to the winning side. And now the Hunter Biden laptop story is a thing. That's just so craven and so pathetic. And I'm someone who has not received a single dollar from the Democratic Party or any
Neither have I.
to talk about my views.
Neither have I.
And
Okay,
you
now,
made so much money off
now
of it.
I will let Lindy. Now I will let Lindy respond. Hang on, Lindy. Hang on, Lindy. Hang on, Lindy. I will now let you respond.
Tell me one person who's paid me.
I don't know, girl.
Who's paid me?
You tell me.
You're just making up shit. You're just making up shit. Are we allowed to curse on here?
Yeah.
I don't need anybody's money. No one has paid me. You're just making this is like libelous. It's defamation. No one has
obviously
paid me.
Obviously, no one has to pay you. It's all about influencerdom, right?
Now you're changing your story. Don't change your story. Just a minute ago, you said I was a grifter and I was getting paid. I never said you did. I said I didn't.
But why are you changing your brand?
I don't know who you are, respectfully.
Why are you changing? You don't need to know who I am. Why are you changing your brand?
Who came out against the pardon? Is he a grifter too? Is Governor Jared Polis also a grifter for saying that the pardon was a bad idea because Joe Biden repeatedly lied? If you're going to pardon your son, fine. There are arguments in favor of that. But why did you have to lie repeatedly and say that you weren't? He lied after
lying
the election.
Is bad.
Please finish
lying
the sentence.
really
Why
is bad.
Insist on talking over people again and again.
This is mental illness.
In terms of the Harris campaign, I raised millions of dollars for that campaign. I donated buildings in a church to the campaign. I did not find out until after she lost that millions were spent on, for example, $2.5 million was spent on Oprah. $500 million went to just 4 well-connected Democratic firms, including Bully.
Welcome to the political revolution, girl. The Democratic Party won't save you.
I don't know what's going on with you, but can you please let somebody finish? Thank you so much.
Please finish.
And also, and millions of dollars to celebrities. It's in millions of dollars to private planes and also 5-star hotels for campaign staffers. I have donors who donated anywhere from $10 to $25 of their hard-earned money to $1 million. They are fuming. And we had no idea this was going on. The campaign, during the campaign, said that we were going to win 3 to 4 battleground states. That was what we were expecting. Jen O'Malley Dillon went around the world telling people that we were definitely going to win the campaign. But they knew all along, now we know, they knew all along that Kamala Harris was losing. She was behind Trump the entire time. But when she was with us donors, when they were whining and dining us, they told us a completely different story.
They were clearly